Welcome back to Travel Secrets with TV's Dave Galvan, the show where we dig into the stories behind the stories, the trips behind the trips, and sometimes the lies behind the likes. Yeah, I know, I missed Tuesday. So we're going to do an episode today, which is Thursday, and then we're going to do an episode on Friday, tomorrow. Very simple. Today we're talking about a topic I get asked about all the time. That's travel influencers. And you know the ones. Glowing sunsets, infinity pools, flawless tans, and somehow no other tourists in sight. They make it look effortless, as if they just woke up in the Maldives, decided to snap a picture, and the universe said, sure, here's perfect lighting and no crowds. But listen, this is the truth. It's not that simple. So today we're pulling back the curtain a little bit. We're talking about what travel influencers don't show you and what it all means for the way we see travel today. All right, a little history lesson. Once upon a time, travel magazines ruled this field. Then came travel blogs, which I write. Time for your vacation.blog. Regular people sharing their adventures, giving honest tips, and helping others explore. Then Instagram showed up, and suddenly travel wasn't about the journey, it was about the picture. A new breed of traveler emerged. It's part storyteller, part photographer, part brand ambassador, part walking commercial, and for a while, it was incredible. Influencers showed us hidden spots in Bali, rooftop bars in Barcelona, tree houses in Costa Rica we'd never seen before. They made the world feel smaller, accessible, and exciting. But as that grew, so did the stakes. Now, many influencers aren't just sharing travel, they're selling it. Sponsored stays, branded deals, affiliate links, paid content. The line between inspiration and advertisement started to blur. And that's where things kind of got complicated. Now, let's be clear. Most influencers aren't doing this for free. Behind every dreamy photo, there's usually a deal. Maybe a resort offered a free stay in exchange for exposure. Maybe an airline comped the flight. Maybe a tourism board paid a hefty fee for the collaboration. Now, I'm not knocking that. It's business. Everyone's got to eat. Everyone's got to pay their bills. But here's the issue. You, the viewer, often don't know when something's paid for. You think, wow, she really loves that overwater bungalow. Meanwhile, she's been paid thousands of dollars to love it. The Federal Trade Commission says influencers should disclose sponsorships clearly. That little ad or sponsored tag. But scroll through your feed and how often do you really see that? And even when you do, the caption usually reads like, so blessed to partner for my favorite resort ever, heart. Hashtag ad. It's technically honest, but it's emotionally manipulative. And the truth, you're looking at marketing, but because it's packaged in real life, it feels authentic. That's the genius and danger of influencer culture. You don't see the 300 takes it took to get the perfect beach shot. You don't see the hours of editing to make the sky look bluer, the skin smoother, and all the crowds behind you disappearing. You don't see the argument with the photographer boyfriend who's forced to take photos for the last 5 hours and is tired and hungry. You don't see the exhaustion, the unpaid bills, the brand rejections, or the pressure to keep the dream going when the dream feels fake. And you definitely don't see how many influencers are traveling just for content, not for experience. They'll fly halfway around the world to take a few photos and leave before breakfast. They're not soaking in the culture. They're not connecting with locals. They're not even seeing the destination. They're just staging it. What you're seeing on social media isn't travel, it's performance. Well, let's talk about the mental side, both the influencer and for the audience. For influencers, the pressure is brutal. Imagine every trip you take has to look like the greatest trip ever. Every sunrise is perfect, every meal photogenic, every outfit camera ready. One bad shot, delete. One day without posting, you're losing engagement. That's not just travel, that's a job. And for the rest of us watching, it creates this quiet, toxic comparison. You start thinking your trips aren't good enough unless they look like that. Your vacation suddenly feels small, messy, imperfect, like you're doing it wrong. But the truth is real travel is messy. It's delayed flights, it's lost luggage, it's missing a plane, it's bad weather, it's questionable street food, and the occasional emotional meltdown in a train station. That's what makes it real. And ironically, the best moments, the ones you remember forever, usually aren't the ones that photographed well. Influencer travel looks free, but there's nothing really free about it. Sure, they might get comped rooms and flights, but in exchange, They're working. They're constantly shooting, editing, posting, and engaging. They're living inside their phones, even in paradise. And when every moment has to be content, you stop living in the moment. I've met influencers all over the world. They're sitting at breakfast stressing out when the light isn't right for their photos. They're surrounded by beauty and they can't even enjoy it. And that's the irony. They're selling freedom while living in a self-made cage. Here's the other issue. Perfection sells, but it's a lie. Travel is supposed to open your eyes, not make you feel like you're failing at vacation. The influencer world sells the fantasy that you can and should have a flawless trip. But what happens when reality doesn't match that? When your resort has construction noise, when your hidden beach is packed with people, when your sunset looks more like smog than magic, that disconnect can kill travel joy. You start chasing a fantasy version of the world, not the real, raw, beautiful, unpredictable version. And honestly, the best trips are the ones that don't go perfect. That's where the stories come from. That's where you actually grow. One of my favorite stories is telling people when I walked across the border from Tijuana back into San Diego, I got stopped by authorities because I happened to have the name of somebody that they were looking for, and I got held in a room for 30 minutes while they were fingerprinting me to make sure I wasn't the guy they were looking for. And my wife was kicked out and put on the America side, freaking out, not really knowing what was going on. Did I get arrested? Am I still in there? What's happening? I mean, that's a fun story. So the good side, and yes, there is one. Before this turns into a total influencer roast, let's be fair. Not all travel influencers are fake. Some are incredibly talented storytellers. Some do real journalism. Some share genuinely helpful tips, promote local communities, and shine light on places most people never see. And many of them work harder than anyone realizes. Early mornings, lots of gear, constant editing, all while trying to make it look effortless. At its best, influencer travel can inspire. It can encourage people to explore, to try new things, or to see the world differently. But like any industry, there's a difference between art and advertising. And we, the audience, need to get better at spotting it. So how do you tell which influencers are the real deal? Here's your checklist. Look for disclosure. If someone never labels anything as an ad, but everything looks sponsored, that's a red flag. Read the captions. Do they share genuine insight or just marketing fluff? Pay attention to variety. Real travelers post imperfect stuff too. The crowds, the bad weather, the local moments, weird food. It's all luxury sunsets, floating breakfasts. It's curated. Yeah, it's not. See if they credit locals. Ethical influencers lift others up, not just themselves. Watch how they handle mistakes. The honest ones talk about missing their flight and their lost luggage. The fake ones pretend every trip is flawless. Basically, if an influencer never looks uncomfortable, they're not traveling, they're just performing. So here's my travel secret for today. Be your own influencer. You don't need 100,000 followers to live a rich travel life. You just need curiosity. Take photos for memories, not likes. Talk to locals, not just cameras. Eat something weird and get lost on purpose because you are the only audience that matters. Hey, I have a TikTok channel. I promote timeforyourvacation.com on it. I also videotape all my travels, the good, the bad, and the ugly. And I also mention timeforyourvacation.com all the time. I'd be stupid if I didn't. But I'm not chasing a perfect post and start chasing real moments. You know, that's where real travel life-changing begins. I have also been taken to task because of my opinions, which is kind of the point of reviews, isn't it? I mean, you give a review and people say you're an a-hole because you didn't like the food on the Carnival Dream. Oh my God, it was terrible. Seriously, don't go there. No. So I'm not anti-influencer. I'm just pro-truth. Travel is too powerful, too sacred to be reduced to stage photos and hashtags. So the next time you scroll past someone sipping a neon drink in an infinity pool, remember, that's the highlight reel. You're not seeing the early flight, the long edited session, or the stress behind the smile. And that's okay. Just don't compare your real life to someone else's filtered one. Because travel doesn't have to look perfect to be perfect. In fact, the best moments, the ones that change you, usually happen off cam. Well, thanks for tuning in to Travel Seekers with TV's Dave Galvan.